My girlfriend refused to move states with me, so I followed my gut, caught her secret affair, and exposed everything to his wife. I'm a 28-year-old guy from North Carolina, and earlier this year, I landed a major promotion at my job. Like, career-changing. The only catch was that I'd have to move to Denver, Colorado. Honestly, I was excited. Better pay, a nicer city, and way more opportunities. I had been dating my girlfriend, Sarah, for almost 3 years at that point. She was 26, worked remotely as a graphic designer, and we were pretty serious, shared an apartment, talked about the future, even joked about baby names once. So naturally, I thought she'd come with me. But when I brought it up, she got quiet. Then defensive. I just don't think uprooting my life for your job is fair, she said. That didn't sit right with me. Her life was mostly spent working from our living room and getting brunch with her friends on weekends. I reminded her that she could work from anywhere and that we'd talked about moving eventually anyway. But she wouldn't budge. I'm just not ready, she said. And I don't want to resent you later. At first, I was hurt, then confused. Something felt off. We'd had rough patches before, but this was different. It didn't feel like fear of change. It felt like a wall was being built between us. But I didn't push it. I figured maybe the distance would help her realize what she wanted. So I moved to Denver alone. It was hard. The apartment felt too big, my evenings too quiet. Sarah and I tried to keep in touch. Texts turned to calls, which turned to video chats that eventually just stopped. Busy with a deadline, she'd say. Or going out with friends. I started to feel like I was being phased out. Then came the red flag that cracked it all open. One night, I logged into our shared Netflix account to wind down and noticed someone had been watching The Bear, a show Sarah always said she hated. Curious, I checked the continue watching list and saw You, Breaking Bad, and Drive to Survive, all shows I know she'd never watch. That's when I realized the account was being used by someone else. I changed the password and decided to snoop a little deeper. And man, I wish I hadn't. A week later, I flew back to North Carolina under the pretense of visiting family. But really, I had other plans. While she thought I was 1,500 miles away, I parked 2 blocks from our old apartment and waited. Sure enough, around 7:30 p.m., I saw her come out, with him. Tall, well-dressed, maybe early 30s. They got into my old car, we'd bought it together, but it was in her name, long story, and drove off. I followed them to a quiet neighborhood restaurant and watched them share a bottle of wine and laugh like they didn't have a care in the world. The next morning, I confronted her. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just knocked on the door, and when she opened it, her face turned white. I thought you were in Denver, she whispered. Yeah, I said, holding up my phone. Turns out, I came back for a quick visit, and to meet your coworker. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. I walked past her, into the apartment I helped furnish, and looked around. Who is he, Sarah? She started crying, saying it wasn't what it looked like, that they'd only gone on a few dates, that she didn't mean to hurt me. But it was too late. She lied. She chose to stay behind, not because she loved her life here, but because she was already building a new one. I left without another word. But that's when I decided she wasn't going to get off that easy. After I walked out of the apartment, I didn't go straight to the airport. I sat in my rental car for about 30 minutes, just staring at the wheel, heart pounding with this cold, bitter clarity. I wasn't the type of guy to key someone's car or blow up their life in a dramatic public scene. But that didn't mean I couldn't serve justice in my own way. Sarah had played me, lied to me for God knows how long. And now she was playing house with some random dude in my old car, in the apartment I'd helped pay for. So I got smart. First, I remembered all the things she relied on me for. Her phone plan was under my name. I still had access to our shared cloud storage. And most importantly, our taxes were filed jointly last year. She never really paid attention to that stuff. Always said, "You're better at numbers." Fine, let's use that. First thing I did was call our phone provider and take her off the plan. That one wasn't really about revenge, just wanted to stop paying for someone who was stabbing me in the back. She'd figure it out when her service got cut off. Then came the more subtle moves. Sarah had recently started doing freelance work for a startup out in Nashville. She always raved about it, said she might even go full-time. Well, guess who helped her design her portfolio website and linked all her references? Yup, me. So I logged in and started making some quiet edits. Nothing crazy, just enough to hurt her credibility. Broken image links, misspelled titles, a 404 not found page where her client testimonials used to be. I didn't delete anything. I just made it look like she didn't know how to maintain her own site. Next, I took screenshots, texts between us from the past 6 months, especially ones where she said she couldn't move because she wasn't ready or needed space. I combined them with photos of her and her mystery guy from the night I followed them. Nothing graphic, just a clear timeline of deception. I emailed it all to her. No subject line. No message. Just screenshots and proof. Less than an hour later, she called. I didn't answer. Then the text came flying in. Sarah, what the hell is wrong with you? Sarah, you're ruining my career. This is sick. Sarah, please don't send that to anyone. Please. That last please told me I had her. I hadn't actually sent anything to her new job, but she didn't know that. And fear? That was a good start. But it wasn't enough. So I started digging into her new guy. Took some work, a little social media sleuthing, and a few shady Reddit threads later, and I found out he was married. Boom. He had a wife. A real one. And from the looks of it, she had no idea what he was doing. Now I had a choice to make. Tell the wife, or let it go. And trust me, I was tempted to walk away and leave them to rot in their little web of lies. But I remembered the humiliation I felt, standing in front of the woman I loved while she fed me pathetic lies, knowing she'd already moved on. That kind of betrayal doesn't just fade. So I made one more move. A polite, anonymous email, just screenshots of Sarah and her boyfriend at dinner. No threats. No accusations. Just, thought you might want to know what your husband is up to. Send. I leaned back in my chair, heart pounding again, not with anger this time, but satisfaction. And then I waited. 2 weeks after I sent that anonymous email to the guy's wife, everything started to unravel. Beautifully, slowly, and exactly how I'd hoped. It started with Sarah calling me again, this time at 3 a.m. Denver time. I didn't answer, of course, but her voicemail was chaos. He's gone, she sobbed. His wife found out. She kicked him out, and now he's blaming me. Said I ruined his life. You did this, didn't you? Damn right I did. She went on and on about how he blocked her, how his wife threatened to send her screenshots to Sarah's freelance clients, and how she might lose everything she'd worked for. Apparently, he had a high-paying job in corporate finance and had been keeping his affair on the low. Now he was trying to make her the fall girl. But Sarah wasn't done losing things. I found out through a mutual friend, who had no idea what I'd done behind the scenes, that Sarah had also lost 2 major freelance gigs in the same week. Turns out, her broken website and unanswered emails started raising red flags. Her work suddenly didn't look so professional anymore, and some of the clients she had lined up for future contracts pulled out without explanation. One of them even left a comment on her portfolio LinkedIn post. We no longer associate with this designer due to unprofessional conduct. She deleted her post within hours, but not before I screen captured it, for my own private satisfaction. Meanwhile, I was thriving in Denver. Promotion was going better than expected, and now I had zero emotional baggage. I started hitting the gym again, made new friends, and even started casually dating someone who, get this, actually wanted to build a future together, not just take from mine. But the cherry on top came about a month later. Sarah texted me. Sarah, hey, I know you probably hate me, and I deserve that. But I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really messed everything up. I didn't respond. She tried again a week later. Sarah, I've been thinking about Denver. I still have all those photos of us there. You were right. It could have been great. Too late. I didn't need revenge anymore. I already got it. Not just by taking things away from her, but by letting her feel it. Letting her stew in the wreckage she helped build. Letting her know, deep down, she lost someone who had her back for years. She replaced stability with drama, traded commitment for convenience, and thought there wouldn't be consequences. There were. She lost the guy she cheated with, her growing reputation in the freelance world, and maybe worst of all, her control. I gave her the silence she feared most. No fights, no drama, just total erasure. Now, she still lives in the same city, in the same apartment, with the same broken dreams. I heard she picked up a retail job to stay afloat while trying to rebuild her client base. As for me, I've never been better. I learned that love should never feel like a negotiation, and betrayal doesn't always deserve anger. Sometimes the best revenge is calm, quiet, and strategic. Let karma do the talking. And trust me, it always does. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.